with Stumpy Outdoors. Today we're going to show you how we cut up a deer tenderloin, maybe a deer ham. I process my own deer meat. I like to take a little more of the silver meat off than a lot of the processing plants do, so I typically do it myself. I vacuum seal it. It seems to turn out really well. Now we're going to show you what tools we use. We'll show you how we do it. And we'll turn around here right now. We're going to show you the sort of what we're doing. I have one fairly large knife. I use it for slicing when I make my steaks, or I cut up a lot of deer jerky. I really like deer jerky, and this knife right here works really well for making those jerky slices. I can get them about as thin as I want them, and I don't have much trouble. This here is my boning knife, and this is what I take my silver meat off with, and get everything cleaned up, and get it ready for the way I like to have it. So one of the most important things about handling your own deer meat is being clean. Now what I do is, before I started, I took my counter and I washed my counter down in a solution of 2% Clorox and water mix. I sprayed it down, wipe it off real good, get everything sanitized. Then I normally lay down. I put down some saran wrap. I lay it across. It kind of helps me keep from making such a mess on my counter. It also helps the contamination factor. My cutting board, I always sanitize it when I'm done, and so when I get ready to cut, my board is always ready to go. My deer meat, what I do is I keep it in a cooler. I killed this deer last Friday. Today is Tuesday. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I would normally give it about 2 more days to cut it up, let it age out a little bit and drain in the cooler. I need to get started early because I'm cooking a turkey for Thanksgiving. We might even do a video on that. I'm going to deep fry a turkey. But I age it out. I let it soak in a little bit of water. I don't always drain my water. I leave a little water in the cooler. Helps get the blood out. Well, we're going to get a piece of tenderloin up here, or the back strap, and we're going to show you how we do it. Alright, we got a piece of back strap here. I killed a fairly decent sized doe last Friday. My daughter, she's wanting some deer meat. Want to fill their freezer up. They're trying to eat a little more healthy. So I shot this deer for her. I'm going to clean it up. We're going to cut it up and get it ready for process. Get it ready to put it in the freezer. The way I start out is I take my boning, they call this a boning knife. I just slide it right under that silver meat. Get right there, and then I'll work it right down, almost like you're skinning a fish. Now I know that by doing this, I waste a little bit of deer meat, but I don't mind wasting a little bit. I would rather have the quality and the good flavor without this silver meat right here. That's where you get your strong flavor and your toughness out of a lot of the deer. This stuff right here, I don't even like it ground in my hamburger. Some people will grind it in their burger. I do not like it. I throw it away. My brother, Twiggy, was a meat cutter at Food Line in Winn-Dixie, I think for about 40 odd years, and he has taught me how to do most of this. It's really not a hard process. It's just a matter of watching and learning and just doing it. It takes a little bit of time to learn it. I'm still not as good as my brother. He can do this in about half the time that I can do it. I know some people are going to say that I'm wasting a lot of deer meat the way I do this, but it's the way I like it. And I serve my deer meat to a lot of people. And like I say, I've never had anybody that can really tell me what they're eating. They know it's not regular beef, but I've never had any complaints on my deer. The way I normally cook this backstrap, you can slice it thin and fry it in the pan. I'm trying to get away from fried foods a little bit. So what I do is I cut it in sections. And the way I cook it is I cook it on the grill. And I use a meat thermometer. And I cook it till my core temperature is 145 degrees. The minute it hits 145, I get it off of the grill. I put it in a plate, cover it up with some tin foil. And by the time you get it to the table and get ready to eat, it's a perfect medium. Pink in the middle, tender, delicious. Now I do marinate it, usually 24 to 48 hours, and I use McCormick's Mesquite marinade for the grill. For me and everybody that's ever tried it, I like that marinade better than anything I have ever used. And I normally cut them in lengths about this size right here. That makes a good piece for the grill. If I slice it in the thickness I want beforehand, it seems to dry the meat out a little bit, but if I cook it in a whole piece like this, I have found that it is really juicy and tender, and I slice it in the thickness I want as we get ready to serve the meat. I try to make 3 pieces out of a tenderloin right there. That right there usually makes a really good meal for the family. Now I will take this and I will put all 3 of these pieces and vacuum seal them together and freeze them. The vacuum sealer I just use a cheap $100 vacuum sealer, but I have dug deer meat out of the bottom of my freezer that I forgot was in there and piled new on top of it, and I have cooked deer meat that was up to 5 years old, and I could not tell the difference in fresh deer meat. A vacuum sealer is well worth your money if you're going to process your own meat. Well, we're going to cut the rest of this up. This little tail right here, I'm going to make some stew beef out of it. I usually take all my small pieces and make stew. When we get to the ham and start doing a hind quarter, we'll get back with you and we'll probably do another video. This is Stumpy with Stumpy Outdoors. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you subscribe to my page or to my channel. I would certainly appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.